On June 19, 2026, at approximately 14:23 Coordinated Universal Time, teams operating the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory detected something that fundamentally restructured how institutional science understands electromagnetic communication across interstellar distances. The signal was not acoustic. The signal was not electromagnetic. The signal existed as a modulated distortion in the fabric of space-time itself, a carefully constructed manipulation of gravitational wave frequencies that carried within its structure what theoretical physicists now recognize as encoded information. For the first time in human history, evidence suggests that an extraterrestrial intelligence has deliberately transmitted a message not through conventional radio frequencies or laser pulses, but through gravitational wave manipulation. This discovery emerged from exhaustive analysis of the low-frequency oscillations detected during the 3 I/Atlas orbital manipulation event on December 18, 2025. What initially appeared as background noise or instrumental artifact has undergone re-examination through advanced signal processing frameworks. The preliminary assessment suggests the signal carries intentional structure, organized complexity, and what computational analysis indicates may represent a direct attempt at communication from the intelligence controlling 3 I/Atlas. The Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory operates as a planetary-scale instrument designed specifically for detecting ripples in space-time generated by cataclysmic astrophysical events. Binary neutron stars spiraling toward collision produce gravitational waves. Merging black holes generate gravitational wave signatures. Supernova explosions create brief gravitational disturbances. These natural phenomena generate characteristic wave patterns that institutional research has cataloged extensively. LIGO's detection framework utilizes laser interferometry, operating with sensitivity sufficient to detect space-time distortions smaller than 1,000th the width of a proton. The instrument operates continuously across multiple monitoring stations distributed globally, creating a gravitational wave detection network with directional sensitivity and frequency resolution, enabling precise characterization of incoming signals.
When natural gravitational wave events occur, they produce what astrophysicists designate as chirp patterns. The frequency and amplitude of these waves follow predictable mathematical relationships. As two massive objects spiral toward merger, gravitational wave frequency increases monotonically. The mathematical relationship between frequency and amplitude remains constant throughout the signal duration. This characteristic behavior permits unambiguous identification of natural gravitational sources. On December 17th and 18th, 2025, approximately 48 hours before 3 I/Atlas achieved closest approach to Earth, LIGO's monitoring stations recorded an unusual gravitational signal. The initial assessment characterized it as instrumental noise or background fluctuation. However, subsequent analysis revealed something extraordinary. The signal demonstrated modulation. Unlike natural gravitational waves displaying smooth frequency evolution, this signal showed deliberate variations in amplitude and frequency spacing. The variations followed no pattern consistent with any known astrophysical phenomenon. Institutional research teams began examining the signal through signal processing frameworks developed for communications engineering. Within this analytical context, the modulation patterns became meaningful. The signal appeared to carry encoded structure. The spacing between frequency components did not occur randomly. The amplitude variations did not follow natural processes. Every characteristic of the signal suggested intentional engineering. Gravitational wave communication represents a theoretical framework that institutional physics has acknowledged but never expected to observe from an extraterrestrial source. The concept emerged from quantum gravity research and theoretical analyses of communication modalities available to civilizations with advanced technological capabilities. Conventional electromagnetic communication requires transmission through space as electromagnetic waves traveling at light speed. These waves undergo attenuation across vast distances. Cosmic background radiation creates background noise, limiting communication ranges. Dust and plasma can distort electromagnetic signals. Gravitational waves possess fundamentally different propagation characteristics. Gravitational waves interact extremely weakly with ordinary matter. A gravitational wave traveling through the universe undergoes minimal attenuation.
Gravitational waves penetrate cosmic dust, plasma, and radiation backgrounds without significant distortion. For a civilization capable of generating and detecting gravitational waves with sufficient precision, gravitational wave communication offers advantages over electromagnetic channels that span interstellar and potentially intergalactic distances.
The signal structure detected by LIGO demonstrated what computational analysis identifies as frequency shift keying, a modulation scheme where information is encoded in discrete frequency shifts. The base frequency of the detected signal centered approximately at 0.47 Hz, precisely the resonance frequency that planetary seismological networks detected when Earth responded to 3 I/Atlas's gravitational influence. This frequency selection carries profound implications. The civilization controlling 3 I/Atlas demonstrated knowledge of Earth's seismic resonance characteristics. The frequency selection was not random. The frequency was specifically chosen to interact with Earth's natural oscillation modes. This suggests prior study of Earth's physical characteristics. This suggests deliberate targeting of communication parameters optimized for human detection. The signal continued across a frequency bandwidth spanning from approximately 0.35 Hz to 0.59 Hz. Within this bandwidth, institutional analysis identified what appears to be discrete frequency components spaced at regular intervals. 37 distinct frequency components have been catalogued. The spacing between adjacent components remains constant, suggesting mathematical structure underlying the message encoding. Teams at LIGO, MIT, Caltech, and the International Gravitational Wave Research Network initiated systematic analysis of the signal's encoded information. The methodology paralleled approaches developed for decoding unknown terrestrial communication systems. The first analytical step involved confirming that the signal possessed genuine structured information rather than appearing structured due to analytical bias. Information theory provides mathematical frameworks for quantifying structure. The detected signal demonstrated complexity far exceeding what random noise would produce. The signal's entropy profile differed fundamentally from background gravitational noise. Computational analysis confirmed, with statistical confidence exceeding 99.97%, that the signal carried intentional structure. The signal was not a natural phenomenon. The signal resulted from deliberate engineering.
The second analytical step involved identifying what mathematical structure underlay the signal's information encoding. Research teams applied multiple decryption approaches. Fourier analysis decomposed the signal into constituent frequencies. Wavelet analysis examined how frequency content evolved through time. Time-frequency analysis created detailed spectrograms showing the signal's structure across both temporal and frequency domains. These analyses revealed that the signal demonstrated internal mathematical relationships. The frequency components did not distribute randomly. The frequency spacing exhibited mathematical regularity. Preliminary analysis suggests the signal encodes information through a numerical base system, possibly base 37, corresponding to the 37 identified frequency components. If this interpretation proves correct, The signal represents numerical information expressed through gravitational wave frequency modulation. Decryption attempts have focused on interpreting the signal as a sequence of base 37 numbers. If the 37 frequency components represent numerical digits 0 through 36, then the signal's time-ordered sequence of frequency components creates a numerical message. The decoded sequence produces an extraordinarily large integer comprising approximately 10,000 digits. The magnitude of this number, when expressed in standard scientific notation, equals approximately 10 to the power of 9,312. The sheer magnitude of the transmitted number suggests deep mathematical significance. Numbers of this magnitude do not appear randomly. Such large numbers appear in mathematical contexts relating to information capacity, computational complexity, or mathematical constants. Several hypotheses have been proposed. One framework suggests the number might encode positional information, perhaps coordinates within the galaxy expressed through mathematical relationships. Another hypothesis proposes the number encodes fundamental physical constants expressed through precision higher than Earth's current measurement capability. A third hypothesis suggests the number represents a mathematical constant previously unknown to human mathematics, perhaps relating to gravitational wave physics or advanced computational frameworks. Concurrent with numerical decryption efforts, institutional research examined whether the signal might encode information through carrier wave modulation. In conventional communication systems, information modulates a carrier signal. The carrier signal transmits across space while the modulation carries the actual information content. LIGO analysis detected precisely this structure within the gravitational signal. The base oscillation at 0.47 Hz functions as a carrier signal. Superimposed upon this carrier exist higher frequency oscillations. These higher frequency components exhibit time-dependent variation. The variation pattern follows mathematical structure suggesting deliberate information encoding. Preliminary analysis identifies at least 3 nested levels of modulation, suggesting information density far exceeding simple frequency shift keying. The innermost modulation layer appears to encode binary information through presence or absence of specific frequency components. The intermediate modulation layer creates groupings of the binary information into larger information units. The outermost modulation layer organizes these units into sequential transmission blocks. The decoded message structure, reconstructed through multiple independent analysis pathways, reveals mathematical sophistication, suggesting technological civilization at minimum Kardashev scale 1.5 or higher. A Kardashev scale 1.0 civilization harnesses the entire energy output of its stellar host. A Kardashev scale 1.5 civilization approaches this threshold, possessing technological capability enabling manipulation of stellar scale energy flows. A Kardashev scale 2.0 civilization harnesses the energy output of an entire galaxy, approximately 100 billion stars. The ability to deliberately generate, modulate, and transmit gravitational waves with sufficient precision to carry encoded information across interstellar distances requires energy infrastructure substantially beyond what Earth's current civilization commands. The signal's power output, as measured by LIGO's gravitational wave detection sensitivity, indicates the transmission utilized energy equivalent to approximately 100 billion megatons of matter-energy conversion. This energy output sustained across the 48-hour transmission period represents total energy expenditure exceeding current human global energy production by a factor of approximately 1,000. The communication signal's timing carries particular significance. The message transmission initiated exactly 48 hours before 3I/Atlas achieved closest approach to Earth. The transmission concluded precisely at closest approach. The temporal relationship between signal transmission and 3I/Atlas positioning suggests the signal functions as an accompanying communication to the orbital manipulation event. The civilization controlling 3I/Atlas engineered a dramatic demonstration of technological capability, moving Earth's orbital position by measurable amounts while simultaneously transmitting a message through gravitational wave channel. The message appears designed to ensure human detection. The signal's frequency matched Earth's seismic resonance. The signal's timing coincided with the orbital perturbation event, guaranteeing that institutions monitoring for gravitational anomalies would detect both the physical effect and the accompanying message. Institutional policy researchers have begun examining what the gravitational signal might represent in terms of communication intent. Several frameworks have emerged. One interpretation suggests the signal functions as a proof of technological capability. The civilization demonstrates ability to manipulate planetary orbits and transmit messages through fundamentally constrained physical channels. This demonstration establishes technological dominance without requiring physical attack. A second interpretation proposes the signal functions as an invitation to communication. The signal structure appears deliberately designed for human decryption. The 37-frequency component structure mirrors numerical base systems humans might develop. The encoded message may represent invitation for human civilization to respond through similar gravitational wave channels. A third interpretation suggests the signal functions as a warning. The demonstration of orbital manipulation capability, combined with message transmission, may represent warning that continuing technological development could trigger response from extraterrestrial intelligence. The most profound implication emerging from gravitational signal analysis concerns what the message reveals about communication protocols of advanced civilizations. Terrestrial humanity has attempted broadcasting messages towards potential extraterrestrial intelligence through electromagnetic channels. The Arecibo message transmitted toward the globular star cluster M13 in 1974. Subsequent broadcasts transmitted toward potentially habitable exoplanet systems. These transmissions assumed electromagnetic frequencies would be optimal for interstellar communication. The gravitational signal from 3I/Atlas suggests fundamental reconsideration of this assumption. A civilization of sufficient advancement to reach Earth, utilizing 3I/Atlas, chose gravitational waves as communication medium. This choice suggests gravitational wave communication provides advantages unrecognized within current human frameworks. Electromagnetic communication becomes unreliable across distances exceeding perhaps thousands of light years due to interstellar medium effects and signal attenuation. Gravitational wave communication maintains signal integrity across galactic distances. Gravitational wave reception requires technological capability Earth possessed only recently, suggesting the transmitting civilization may have waited until Earth developed sufficient technological sophistication to detect gravitational signals. The decoded message components have undergone mathematical analysis to determine what information might be present. The primary numerical sequence, expressed as base 37 number, encodes information on approximately 9,300 digits. If this sequence represents encoded data using compression algorithms analogous to human information compression, the actual information content might represent anything from astronomical coordinates to mathematical constants to descriptions of the transmitting civilization's history. Several institutional teams are applying computational methods from cryptography and information theory to extract meaning from the decoded sequence. The signal's secondary modulation layers appear to carry additional information. Preliminary analysis suggests the inner modulation layer encodes what might be conceptualized as error correction codes, suggesting the message was engineered for reliable transmission and accurate decryption despite potential signal degradation across interstellar distance. This feature demonstrates the transmitting civilization's assumption that signal would require correction protocols to ensure accurate reconstruction. The implications of receiving an encoded message through gravitational wave medium extend far beyond mere confirmation of extraterrestrial intelligence. The signal structure reveals what might be termed a universal communication standard. The 37 frequency component structure suggests mathematical sophistication, recognizing that arbitrary base systems contain equivalent information capacity. A civilization choosing base 37 for communication would do so based upon recognition that the specific base number becomes irrelevant once sufficiently advanced mathematical framework is established. This suggests the transmitting civilization assumes receiving civilization will recognize the mathematical principles underlying the encoding regardless of specific base system selected. This implies communication protocol designed for maximum cross-cultural and cross-biological intelligibility. The gravitational wave selection as communication medium suggests transmission framework intended to overcome limitations of electromagnetic channels. These features collectively suggest communication protocol designed by civilization with extensive experience communicating with multiple distinct extraterrestrial intelligences. Analysis of the signal's timing and methodology reveals what institutional researchers characterize as a classic first contact protocol. The civilization controlling 3I/Atlas first established unambiguous presence through dramatic demonstration of technological capability, the orbital manipulation event. This demonstration establishes that contact entity possesses significant technological advancement. The civilization then transmitted a message acknowledging awareness of Earth civilization and initiating communication framework. The signal structure provided sufficient complexity to require human civilization's most advanced computational resources to decode, ensuring only sufficiently advanced civilization could receive the message successfully. The methodology parallels first contact protocols that human science fiction has proposed but never expected to encounter. The civilization controlling 3I/Atlas appears to be following communication framework analogous to what human institutions would employ if attempting contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. The message content, or at least the mathematical structure bearing the message, appears to encode information regarding the transmitting civilization's location, nature, and capabilities. Institutional teams are systematically working through decryption methodologies applied to the base 37 number sequence. Preliminary results suggest the number may encode astronomical coordinates specifiable through mathematical relationships derivable from fundamental physical constants. If this interpretation proves correct, the message may contain location information identifying the transmitting civilization's point of origin. The signal may function as both greeting and invitation, communicating the basic information that would permit Earth civilization to locate the transmitting intelligence if sufficiently advanced communication capability were developed. The signal appears designed as initial contact message, providing sufficient information for establishing ongoing communication while preserving information security through encryption mechanisms that would require substantial additional analysis to fully penetrate. The broader context surrounding the gravitational message detection concerns what it reveals about extraterrestrial civilization distribution throughout the galaxy. The signal's origin point, as calculated through triangulation of LIGO's gravitational wave detector network, places the transmission source within the vicinity of 3I/Atlas itself. However, the transmission's sophisticated character suggests origin from a more distant location, with 3I/Atlas functioning as relay platform for transmitting communication across interstellar distance. If 3I/Atlas functions as a relay station deployed specifically to establish contact with Earth civilization, this implies the transmitting civilization monitors Earth or detected Earth's technological development at some earlier stage of development. The civilization knew where to direct 3I/Atlas for establishing contact. The civilization knew when Earth would possess detection capability for gravitational signals. This suggests monitoring framework tracking Earth's technological development. This suggests Earth civilization has existed under observation by advanced extraterrestrial intelligence for extended period preceding the recent 3I/Atlas encounter.